So I thought I would share part of one of the playlists I listen to when I'm either really upset and I'm feeling like I'm going to have an anxiety attack or be dealing with a lot of emotion from my PTSD. For me, I like to listen to songs that relate to my story, that they do tell a story, but my my thing is that stories, they wait for an ending, always waiting until the day you die. And then sometimes the story's not over yet, especially if you're famous. Um, but, sorry, I'm having one of those days where I can't remember things. Oh, I like having songs I can relate to that are whatever I'm feeling at the point in time. If I'm remembering cutting or something, I want to hear songs about that because then it's like I'm mentally cutting, like I'm mentally getting rid of that emotion. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. But yeah, so I thought I would share part of my playlist. Uh, I call it the 13 Reasons Why, and yeah, well, 13 Reasons Why, and about my PTSD. I have a couple playlists that are called 13 Reasons Why, and they have different relevance. So, the first song on my playlist is Kiss the Flag by Evans Blue. It's basically about a soldier who he goes off to war. It's neither a pro-war nor an anti-war song. It's neutral. So it actually it's not trying to make the situation worse. It's not telling you that we don't understand kind of thing. And it talks about wanting all that we had and what we give up when things happen. Like, specifically, since it's from a soldier's point of view, we lay down the right to have freedom to a certain extent. And we lay down the right to have control. And that control issue can sometimes turn into PTSD over time. The second song is For the Love of a Daughter by Demi Lovato. That particular song talks about Demi's her father, Patrick Lovato. He was abusive, and all she wanted was for him to put down the alcohol and to be a real father, because you need that in your life. No matter how much you try to deny it, there are three parts to a family: a mom, a dad, and the kids. And if one of those pieces isn't there, well, unless it's children, if the mom or the dad isn't there, the family doesn't function correctly. It's like a car without a muffler. Yes, it runs, but it's going to make more noise, and it could make squeaking sounds make or leak exhaust fumes to, yeah, it can leak things or whatever. That was kind of a bad explanation, but I'm too lazy to actually think of a better one right now. So, the third song is Open Wounds by Skillet. It talks about the emotion behind what happened. It some of the lyrics are, "How could you hate me?" And yeah, "How could you hate me? How could you love me? All you ever gave me were open wounds." And so it talks about that. Um, the fourth song is Get Well by Icon for Hire, because, like, I would give anything to get better, to not have PTSD, to just be cured of it. That would be so bloody Mary effing lovely. Yeah. Um, and that kind of talks about trying to find friends who don't rank you about what you've been through, because all that a lot of people who have PTSD get is judgment, and we don't need that judgment. We need you to be a friend, to not care about that judgment, to not care in general about the things that other people may say or do. Just be there. Be the friend that you should be. The fifth song is Faceless by Red. It talks about how you're not yourself and you feel like you're someone else. For me, sorry, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, if you listen to that song, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's like how you don't feel like you're yourself. The next one is Crawl by Breaking Benjamin. There's a particular line that speaks to me, and it's love left behind. And to me, it's like, this is the love that may have been there once, or even if it wasn't there once, it got left behind. Like if you move and you leave like your toothbrush behind or something, it's important. And you can replace it, but it's not the same. And yeah. Song number 7 is called To Write Love on Her Arms. It's by Helio. And for me, it's my life story, honestly. It talks about how this girl won't leave this night alone, and she won't sleep, and I'm gonna just say it's cutting, but harms herself. And it talks about how we always have hope and that we need to remember that. And we need to have someone there to write love on our arms, to let us know that we are loved. That's part of the reason why my tattoo right here, let me move that so you can get a nice angle there. Yeah, something. That's why there is a heart underneath my tattoo. Or underneath the forgiven, anyway. It is a tattoo, so, yeah. But the reason that heart is there is to remind me that I'm loved, that I'm worth it, that I'm worth the effort that it may take to keep me here and to make me be someone. Because I don't want to be a nobody. No one wants to be a nobody. Song number 8 is Impossible by Manafest. And it talks about how it's really hard to let go of the emotions because of the abuse, which is something I particularly have a problem with. And generally, PTSD has a certain amount of OCD in it, so it plays like a broken record inside your head. You hear this, or like a CD that skips. That's, I guess, a better term. It's like the same line over and over and over again. That's what PTSD is like, honestly. It's like hearing the same line. It's like seeing the same clip of the movie every day. And it's okay if it were just every once in a while. It wouldn't bug you. Like, if you watch a movie every couple of years, like, my favorite movie is Daredevil. It's like watching that a couple times a year or whatever. But if you watched it every day, you would hate it, and it would drive you bloody nuts. And yeah. Number 9 is Boy by Hawthorne Heights, and it talks about how the damage has already been done, and you can't go back. The next song is Broken Home by Papa Roach. Yeah, just go listen to that one. It's really good. Song number 11 is Gone Forever by 3 Days Grace, and that song is particularly, I don't know, it talks about even though that you're gone, it's a good thing. And yeah. 12 is Red Sam by Flyleaf, and that talks about how it is to cope with abuse or PTSD or things like that, because you wish you could just stop the pain and just stop it in its tracks. The last one is Break Even by The Script, and it talks about how your heart doesn't break even and you can't control how it breaks. Yeah, so anyway, bye. That was my list.